Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So in this video, I think we need to discuss the timelines and what the hell's going on with them. Because it used to be so simple, but now after issue 10, they've just become so complicated that I have to make a theory video about this, like to try and explain what I think's going on and how much it's changed. Now, as you all know, the way the timelines work in Life is Strange in the game is Max used a photograph in episode 3, and that was the first time reality changed. I guess technically you could say that reality changed when she saved Chloe in the bathroom, but I'm talking about like a big, major change in the timeline. So the first one was obviously when Max saved William, and that changed events, and that changed Max's life as well. Like, for one thing, she stayed in touch with Chloe, she was part of the Vortex Club, and she was this more like, I wouldn't say brave, but she was braver than her normal self, you know what I mean? Like, she was more outgoing. Anyways, the next timeline after that would have to be the San Francisco timeline, where in episode 5 of The Dark Room, she changes, she looks at the photograph that she took in class of herself. You know, it's the first photograph you take after the nightmare, and she messages David and tells him all about the dark room, and after that he ends up getting arrested, and she goes to San Francisco. And then the next timeline after that is Max going to she finds out from Chloe, who calls her, well, she calls Chloe actually, when she discovers she has numerous missed messages, and Chloe's telling her that the storm happened. So Max goes back in time to when she took that photo that won her the Everyday Heroes contest, and she rips it up. And then, like, the next timeline is a bit confusing. I don't understand how that photo being ripped up brings Max back into the dark room, because that was always confusing for me. If one of you could, like, explain it to me, I'd really appreciate it, because I'm pretty sure that Max, she still messaged David privately in the text, because unless he saw the boardroom in Chloe's room about all the evidence they're piling together, then that would make more sense how we found her. But you know. But anyways, and after that, then the next timeline is well, it's not really an original timeline, I guess, because Max goes back and she stops Chloe from going after Nathan at the school, and she persuades Chloe to come with her back to the house. So this is the 4th day. You travel back to the 4th day on the 5th day, and because, as you know, Life is Strange, like each episode is basically a day. So yeah, so after that, then the storm's happening, and you gotta make a choice. Do you sacrifice Chloe to save Arcadia Bay, or sacrifice Arcadia Bay to save Chloe? And as we all know, the comic book follows the timeline where Max chooses to sacrifice Arcadia Bay. Now then, the timeline right there was, it made sense. Basically, what happens is, whenever you go to a new timeline, you're overriding the other timeline. Think of it like save data in a game. You're overriding that save file. But then, Life is Strange starts happening, which picks up a year after episode 5, and Max begins experiencing flickers, and what's happening is she's going between alternate realities. Now, I made a theory video on this, and I still believe it's true, that Max was somehow creating when she was losing control of her powers, she ended up creating alternate realities subconsciously, and she was jumping in between those realities. And like, but obviously the video I made, if you want to check the one previously, it's about the flickers and why I think they were there, if any of you are interested, because I'm going to be bringing the flickers up in this video as well. So anyways, Max eventually, she finds this place to transect, and there are a bunch of realities, and the way I saw it was, okay, these are all multiple realities, and as soon as Max picks one, that will be the main one, and then all these realities will disappear, right? Makes sense. But no, okay? Enter Tristan, and this is where the timeline shit gets very, very complicated. Okay, so the thing about Tristan is we discover that he has powers, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. This is another person with the power of invisibility, and the way the comic was building it up is, oh, these two people are connected. How could that be? But then we find out what's interesting about it. Now, we find out how Tristan got his powers was he was with his best friend, and they were going to buy a bunch of drugs, like pot, basically. And when the police come, one of the gang members is holding a gun at Tristan. I mean, not Tristan, at his best friend. And Tristan's so scared, this is when his ability manifests, and he completely disengages from reality. So that means that he basically turns invisible, and he ends up watching his best friend die. Now, here's what's interesting. In issue 10, what they did was Tristan's on the beach with Max, and they're talking, and she goes to him. And he goes to her. I want you to take a look at something, and it's a picture of the shooting when his friend died, and there was a news article about it. And Tristan discovers that Max arrived in his timeline at the exact moment he disengaged. Now, this is where shit gets so confusing, okay? Because it was originally established that Max, like, when she's in one timeline, that's the main timeline. There are no others. Like, the transect were just multiple timelines, and she basically had to choose one to go to, and that would become the main one, and all the other ones would basically be erased. But now what this is setting up is that there are multiple timelines out there, different realities. It was kind of like, I guess you could say Life is Strange. It was a little like Back to the Future rules, basically. When you change something in the past, it affects the future, and it's that one timeline. But now it's just completely different, and I don't know what to believe. So who's to say that, like, as we all know, we saw at the end of issue 10 that Tristan's there on the beach with Chloe, and she kind of looks like she's fading in and out. And Tristan may be in the Dust timeline, I'm not too sure. But what does this mean for Max? Like, I basically, what I see happening is, it's good. If any of you have ever seen the show Quantum Leap, it's that guy. I never actually finished it and that, but basically the guy has to keep jumping and helping people until he can get to his original timeline. And it's at the end, it's like, oh, you had the power to jump to your own timeline all along. But then he doesn't do it, and it's like, okay, I never understood why he did that, why he didn't go back to his own timeline. So I was just, like, from reading it, it made me confused. So, like, who's to say that? Also, like, another thing is, what if someone else gets powers and Max gets pulled into that timeline? Because, like, you see my problem here, it used to be so simple, and now it's just, I mean, holy shit, god damn it. I mean, like that's really all I want to talk about. Like, so basically Tristan is responsible for Max's flickers, and the moment, and so basically the moment she goes to his timeline is the moment the flickers stop, because Tristan said it himself, he pulled her into his timeline. But if his power is disengaging, like, how can he pull someone into another reality? You see how I'm so confused about this? So anyways, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and please leave your own theories and comments below, because I love hearing from you people. And by the way, the raffle I'm holding is going to be ending in 9 days on the 30th. They will end on November 30th, and I'll be announcing the winner on the 1st of December. So anyways, let me all know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.